Good morning, my name is Steve. This car is for sale. If you're watching this video, it's because you either have an interest in buying it or just an interest in the BMW E61, which is the 5 Series Touring. This particular car, I am the third owner. I bought the car in July of 2017. It had about 123 odd thousand miles, and it's a September 2007 model. That makes it the LCI. It's a 525 SE Touring, but it's actually fitted with the N53 normally aspirated 3-litre engine. Same engine as fitted to the 535s, but without the turbo. This engine comes in, and I had to check on the logbook, I think it's 248 or 184, whatever, 255 pounds a year road tax. It's in a lower tax band than the pre-LCI 525s, which were typically a 2.5. This has the 6-speed ZF gearbox with Steptronic function, and I can get mid-40s on the motorway on cruise at sensible speeds. I'm not talking 80s and 90s, but if you stick to 60, 70 mile an hour, you'll get over 40 to the gallon all day long. If you really nurse it at literally 55 mile an hour in the slow lane with the lorries, you'll get nearly 50. That's on the motorway. You won't get that round town. But with the 6-speed gearbox, it's very long-legged. And I don't know what the RPMs are, but I will be doing a follow-up, probably a quick road test, and to go through all of the work that I've done on this car. But it's got very long legs, very tall gearing, and as you can see, these engines, they go to nearly 7,000 on the red line, so they're a real, they thrive on revs. It does make the engine feel not as powerful when you're just sort of tiptoeing around, driving gently. You think, oh, it's not lacking in torque, but with the tall gearing and in drive mode, it's pretty relaxed. It changes up smoothly, effortless gear, beautiful gearbox. If you flip over into sport, that holds the revs before it changes up, and being as it's a drive-by-wire on the gas pedal, it really does make it a lot more responsive. It transforms, and then of course you've got the manual mode, which I use quite a lot as well. So this particular car does not have sat nav, and it doesn't have leather, and that's partly why I bought it. I didn't want leather. I was leasing cars prior to this, and they all had leather, and I don't know. I don't like leather, and I'm probably appealing to a minority audience, but I find these seats are low maintenance, and I'll show you the driver's seat in a minute. It's 151,000, and there is no wear whatsoever on these seats. They're very comfortable. They're also heated, which I think was probably an option for this particular car, and they work beautiful. Absolutely toasty warm, come on very quick. Dual zone climate control. No sat nav, as I say, but you've got front and rear parking sensors, and you've got the I think this is the CCC edition. It does have a CD changer. Air conditioning works perfectly. I've checked the refrigerant level, the pressure, back in the summer, and it was bang on. So, and it works beautifully. We'll just wind that down because it's a cold day. CD, that all works fine. Non-smoking car. Ashtray's never been used, nor is the cigarette lighter. That's your DTC, that's your I don't know what that's, traction control, I guess. I've never used it, but it's an FM AM radio. I've actually, on preset 1 is highway. I have a pure highway digital radio, which I've just taken out. I bought the cheapest one they do, just to get the digital, and wasn't interested in Bluetooth because I can sync my phone. I got a cheap Chinese Huawei phone. I've had a Samsung phone in here, BlackBerry. They all pair beautifully for phone integration. What else can I say? It has electric steering column. I don't know if that was standard. Where are we? Down there. That's tied into the driver's seat memory, and when you remove the key, the steering wheel goes up to a park position to allow for easy egress and entry. It's automatic headlights. Let's see. There's auto there. We've got rain sensing wipers. Turn that off, getting warm. And I'll just take you for a quick walk around. Well, not a walk around, I'm going to do that as a separate video. At the moment the car's been parked up for a couple of weeks, and at this time of year it's not looking its best, but I can tell you now the condition of the bodywork is pretty much as good as the interior, but you'll have to wait for a separate video on that. It's got cruise control. Obviously you've got your hands-free options. I've programmed that button to turn the display off. I find that quite convenient. I haven't, I don't know, it's got voice activation for the phone and things like that, but I've never bothered with it. Drinks holders, yeah, they all work fine actually. I think they're meant to be. They are vulnerable, particularly the passenger one. Glove box. It's got a first aid kit in the boot. It's got the warning triangle. Headrests are electrically adjustable. Nice to have, I suppose. It's pretty good spec. It's a somber looking car when you first look at it. If you compare this to, say, a brand new Beamer or a brand new E-Class with all the bling, you think, ooh. But there is something nice about this car, particularly at night with the red dashboard lighting. It's easy on the eye. It's a very comfortable car. As I say, it's got long legs. It's beautiful on the motorway. And it's not a diesel. Everybody hates the diesel. Power on these was 218. Doesn't feel like it, as I say, unless you really nail it, which I don't do very often. Beautifully smooth engine and lovely gearbox. But let's have a... There goes the wheel. Let's go and have a look. I'll just show you the condition of the trim, etc. on the door panels. Got the key in the pocket. The only wear is around here. There's some sort of coating on the plastic, bloody start-stop rubbish. But the door treads nice, no horrible scuffs anywhere. Driver's seat, don't know how this is coming out, but basically there's just nothing wrong with it. The bolster, nothing wrong with it. Bit of fluff, get rid of that. Doors all shut nice. No sagging hinges. Rear seats, I don't have passengers, I don't have a family, I'm the only person who goes in this car, so I don't think I've ever had anybody sit in the back of this car in all the time that I've owned it. And I think the previous owners likewise didn't have children. Underneath, I don't know what that's coming out like, but basically the carpets are unmarked, and I think these are probably the original BMW door mats. We'll go around the other side and then we'll have a look in the boot. Passenger side electric seats, no memory on the passenger side. You have to pay extra for that, no doubt, but again, superb. I'm really chuffed with the condition of this car, and I have looked after it. Build quality obviously goes a long way. Again, in the back, nothing to see here except that. It's a slight nick. That was there when I got it. Big deal. It's a soft close on the tailgate. I have replaced the gas struts with aftermarket ones, and I got them for a website where you actually choose the pound, the rate that you want, and I had to make a judgment. I've still got one of the original ones, they're twice as thick as that, and that's okay, but the other one had failed, and when it was cold it was... Anyway, whatever, I'll include the original working strut. That's my stuff in there. I always carry some spares. First aid kit, bits and pieces. Uasa battery replaced earlier this year, coded. I think it's either 100 or 110 amps. It's got the IBS sensor, no problems with drains or anything like that. Parasitic drains as they call it. That weave on the carpet is because I always have a load liner in there. more storage under here, and I've converted from run flats to radials. Atrocious. When I got the car, it had Bridgestone Potenzas run flats, good quality tyre. I ended up replacing the offside front wheel bearing because I was convinced I had a faulty wheel bearing at 35 mile an hour, terrible drone, and it was the tyre. So that was a lot of work for nothing. I ended up just going back to radials, and that's why there's a space saver wheel. There is, oh by the way, that there is normally a big liner that goes in there, which I've got. It's in as new condition, but BMW deliberately designed it. Even though they put a spare wheel well in there, you just can't get the spare tyre in there. Classic. Down there you've got like a thick plastic insulator, and there's some electronics in there. And no, there are no water leak problems on this car at all. I've checked that a couple of times. I'm going to check it again, but I've checked it a couple of times since I've had it and never had a problem. Soft close. This works as expected. I do find is I have to do that sometimes just to re-engage the wiper. I hardly ever use the glass. Anyway, just a teaser on the outside. As I say, I'm going to do a separate video. Well, let's have a quick look under the bonnet. All these damn leaves. It's all standard. It's not being blinged up in terms of wheels or anything like that, or window tints. Ugh. So apologies for the leaves, but that's the engine. It stays remarkably clean. Projector lenses. Okay, more to follow. If you have an interest, stay tuned.